Welcome to the She Built This podcast. In this 6-part mini-series, entitled Wellness is Not the Goal, I will explore the 3 main issues I see time and again with women as they look to make changes to their health and well-being in midlife. The confusion around what to action, the misunderstanding about their body, and the constant juggling of nutrition advice, but also the bigger picture of what this actually is looking to achieve. Is wellness it? Are we just supposed to be well? Or is readiness the real goal? Ready for action, for life, for adventure? Come with me as we explore this topic in detail. Welcome to this next episode in our 6-part series. And this one, we are going to talk about how to make the most of your body. Now, in the last episode, we spoke about how sometimes the motivation to change something comes from something being wrong already. So let's park that for now and lean more into when we're looking to really expand and to 100% take advantages of all the fabulous things that our body does, just as a by the by. There are, quite frankly, some cheat codes within your body that you can that it works so well. You can lean into some of the things that are already in place that a lot of times I think we kind of try to expand on them too much. So let me give you, for example. So intermittent fasting is incredibly popular, and there are lots of benefits that are proclaimed to exist around fasting. Now, a lot of these are actually based in quite good science around what happens when you simply don't give your body any food for a period of time. That it actually works really nicely to allow the insulin to settle, everything just calms down. You absolutely can benefit from periods where you're just not constantly eating. I don't know whether you remember, I guess I'm speaking to a similar age audience where we didn't really snack as children. We had 3 meals a day. And that's kind of one of the things that, we have come away from a little bit, is perhaps thinking that we need more food than we do. And also understanding that, we need those periods of time when we're not eating. Now, it's entirely up to you how much you lean into that and how much you take from, okay, I'm going to give my body an extended period of time where I'm not going to give it anything to worry about, essentially, that it doesn't have to process anything, that it doesn't need to move anything through. It doesn't have to remove any toxins. Thinking about things where you are making something work. There's a book called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. And in that, it talks about how using a seesaw too much and having an elephant on each side is going to wear the seesaw out way more than having a mouse on each side. And if you have this kind of if there's a lot to process through, then it's going to take some time and it's going to wear the system down. So lean into the cheat code of not giving too much, too often to your body, giving it time to rest in between. So, you've got this perhaps an extended time where you perhaps don't eat from 8 p.m. through till 9, 10 a.m. the next day, or you want to go a little bit far longer. But if you love breakfast and breakfast is the thing that gets you up in the morning, then of course, break fast with breakfast, right? Break fast. So you can, of course, do what you like, but there are some things that the body is naturally very, very appreciative of. So also understanding that it's great at adapting to what you give it. But adaptation can take a little time. So if there are changes that you want to put in place, I always recommend them just doing them as incrementally as you can, because the habit will stick longer, but also because what you'll actually end up doing is allowing the body time to adjust to this change. It's extremely good at adapting to change, but what it's not extremely good at is big fluctuations. So thinking about or having a lot of load of one thing, a lot of the gluten intolerance that comes is through having way too much gluten over a period of time. And the body just builds up a state where it's like, okay, I'm going to need to take a bit of a break, or I'm going to need to take a little bit of load off. So we can see how actually allowing those processes to take place allows the body to kind of sort itself out. And thinking around hormones, for example, if there's women listening to midlife and you are knee deep in perimenopause or menopause, it is tough. It's super tough. And you can tell the strength and velocity of hormones by the way that we respond in this phase. And somebody actually said that what we're going through in this stage is very similar to what you have after birth. Now, think after you've given birth. Now, thinking about, I remember going back to that stage, I was a little bit cray-cray after that. And so it's not unsurprisingly that I'm a little bit cray-cray now, right? So it's understanding that these hormone fluctuations are huge, but how powerful they are. I think that's what makes you realize how powerful they are, and the idea that we in any way really can influence them too much is quite strange, or that they're not doing the job that they are designed to do. So thinking about hormones are generally self-regulatory. So there is a very, very great system set up within the body to regulate hormones. There's a very great system in the body to get rid of toxins. So don't overthink some of these things where we're kind of like, oh, I need to control cortisol, I need to control insulin, I need to worry about this. Body's got it nailed. Body knows exactly what it's doing. What you control is what goes in, how you can, give it the best environment that you can to get what it needs done. And that can be taking enough rest, making sure that you are keeping stress levels to a degree that the body can cope with. Have you got to the stage now where you are listening to this because you're like, oh God, something's got to change. Something has got to change. And that is a signal that your body is going, we're at peak. You need to sort this out phase. Now, in Sampira, there's the A stands for alignment, and it is very much about understanding to make it work for you. So making things in alignment with what your body needs and what you need, what you feel is the right thing for your body. And Lena, you will know, like, you've lived in this body for a while, and maybe you haven't taken a huge amount of attention to it right until this point. But the more you can start listening to it, the more you can start noticing things, the more you can start to pick up on the cues that it's giving you, and you can lean into what you essentially feel is right. And sometimes that's really hard to know because you're kind of like, you're trying to get it right. You're trying to get the right information. The chances are you probably fundamentally know what you need to do, and you probably fundamentally are not doing it. And so when you actually do that, when you actually listen to your body, it probably will tell you what it wants. A lot of people, one of the things that I do, and I'm going to come on to nutrition in the next couple of episodes, but one of the things I do sometimes with clients is we do a very aggressive phase of dieting or to caloric restriction. And that has many benefits over and above the weight loss that they want to achieve, because I find that sometimes it's a great reset of, am I actually eating when I'm not hungry? Oh my God, how many of us do that? So if you're eating when you're not hungry, what is the other thing that you're trying to satisfy that is not hunger? Or is it that there is just an obligation that this is the time you eat? So thinking around things like that, I mean, we'll go into that a little bit more detail in the next couple of episodes, but thinking around, okay, what are there things that you know about your body that it works best? Are you always, like, does your psoriasis clear up when you go on holiday? Do your headaches disappear over the weekend? Does your back pain always come on when you are traveling in the car and you're on your way to work? Are there things that you notice about the patterns of behavior that happen that mean that you can unpick that to create cheat codes that mean that you just absolutely smash through life? So, for example, okay, what is unique about, we could say what's unique about being on holiday that clears up your psoriasis. There's probably 600 things that you could pick out of that. But it could be salt water. It could be sunshine. It could be being more relaxed. And if you can I mean, I'm not saying you can all go and relax, stay by the beach, but there may be elements of it that you can bring in. Like, can you make sure that you're exposing? I speak about this because I sometimes get a little bit on my elbows, and it always clears up when I get out in the sunshine and just allow it to have air and time to breathe, which is not easy in Britain in the winter. But if you know that that's a thing that's is a thing for you, that's my point, is that are there things for you that work and you're simply not doing? What is there something that you can do today to move forwards towards having that in place? I will see you in the next episode.